G'day, welcome. Episode 68, The Early Crow, brought to you by Makita. Right now, get amazing bonuses with selected Makita XGT 40V and 80V max kits and combos. Limited time only. Visit makita.com.au for details. Makita XGT, more intelligent, more efficient, more power. More Makita. Boys, what a fucking glorious and outstanding weekend. It started on Friday. It went through on Saturday. Tom... the boy become a man, and one of the great sets all time on the biggest day on the calendar in Sydney, and he wasn't done because he backs it up with a lazy 9. I repeat, 9 score involvements in one of the great wins, a much needed win for the Swans against Freo on Sunday. I don't know where he is, I don't know what he's doing, but he looks outstanding and he looks fresh, and my man is here. T. Papley, what a weekend, and how are you?
Boys, one of the great weekends. On and off the field. It was just a great weekend all around, and thoroughly, I won't say that word, can't say it.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thoroughly?
Yep, nailed it.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Enjoyed it, and anyway, we'll move on from that, and we, it was a really nice win, and probably one of my top 10 wins, I reckon, in footy.
We're going to go through it a fair bit, so just stand by. P-Rat, how are you? Looking good? Feeling good?
Mate, feeling great. The best part about Saturday was just those couple of little Kembla grains straighten ups, just a little 3-unit, 2-unit play. How do I do this? I'll just copy and paste this. I'll just make a little Kembla grain section. I'll just pop you in 2 of the best in there that were fucking steamed as well. Dicko, you only put 1 through for the Crow, but I think you won the best part of almost 8 units for the mailbag subs as well, mate. You are airborne there, so... What a weekend. Pies, was it Thursday or Friday, into what was a glorious Saturday, into a Swans win on Sunday. I don't think it gets much better than that, Dicko.
Well, shout out to Nick Foote, who really helped you guys there on Friday night. I mean, like, I've seen fucking crook umpiring a lot, and like Tom's saying top 10, top 5 win of his life as a Swans player. I'm saying top 5 games I've seen corrupted by bad decisions and umpire influence. It was horrendous, and I just want to shout out, like, I love the rub on Triple M. I listened to that on the podcast. Like, they rolled over it and actually, like, hammered him instead of what they usually do, just go, was it enough? It was that important? It was crook. But full credit to you, Pratty. You're back. You're away. It was looking grim after the Giants smacked you.
Very, very grim. Very, very grim. I can't comment because no matter what I say, if I go one way, you'd be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot that way. And if I say, I don't think it was that bad, you'd be like, oh, well, you're an absolute moron, are you? So I'm just going to say no comment from my end, and thank Christ we got the win.
Question I had for Tom. I thought it wasn't surprising, but Jesus, he gets aggressive when he wins and slightly abusive. Like, fuck, he was into me and he was just trying to just drag Pratty by the ear to get involved in abusing me, his teammate, when he won. What is your behaviour like in the Perth, Wacker, Optus Oval, Optus Stadium change rooms post like a glorious win? Is there a couple of players like I would have had Crust number 1 seed? Is there anyone that you sort of rip into and abuse when you win on your team?
No, I was pretty excited after the win.
Which one? Which wins this, Saturday or Sunday?
Both. Sunday, both. But I think I just like getting into you more than my teammates, funny enough. But yeah, I think I just like it getting into you because you try to give it out, and I just like giving it back to you more. I think good fun.
I feel like Saturday afternoon really opened. Like, he really hit the ball over the net, so now I'm allowed to smack it right back, and I intend to. You just now set yourself a standard which you need to live up to each and every week.
Yeah,
the bets were sound. The maps were outstanding. The Campbell bets, like, if the horse was good enough, I was going to win. That sort of stuff. That's what I look for, and I'll be watching pretty closely moving forward. Where do we want to start? We want to start with the horses or start with the Swans?
Footy, surely. Fuck, it was a glorious Sunday Arvo.
What was the pressure like heading over there? Because from my point of view, it was a bloody important game. The consequences of a loss were severe. The draw you've got all year, particularly the next sort of month and a half, is tough.
Yeah, I think it was for the outside world, and it wasn't inside the 4 walls, and I think that's key. For us, we were 0-2, but I've been 0-2 before a couple of times, and I've felt worried. But this year, I've felt different, and it's like that with all the boys. We didn't really. the mood and the at the club, it didn't feel like we were 0-2. It didn't feel like we were under pressure. We've played Hawthorn and Brisbane, and we've had a fair few players out. We've played the way we wanted to play. Our fundamentals probably let us down against Brisbane. We probably gave them a few too many goals, and we didn't finish off our goals. Hawthorn were too good for us in the contest. Full credit to them there. So we're roundabouts, and then obviously we've had another two key players go out in Malikan and McInerney, and I think they're very big players for us as well. Inside the four walls, very underrated. I don't think anyone outside the footy world would rate them too very highly, but inside the four walls, they're highly rated for team players as well. So they were big outs for us. But I think what's been great with Coxie and probably the whole coaching staff and players and sort of the leadership group, we want to make it whether win, lose or draw, we don't want it to waver, and that's really, really important. You want to make the club even all the time, always upbeat, and that's what's been really good the last couple of weeks, and I think that flows on to our footy. Like we didn't feel under pressure, because if you bump it up too much, if you feel the pressure, and I think that's what was really good with Coxie and what we did this week. We just went about our business and we didn't worry about the outside world. We just worried about our job, and we went over there and did it.
What about Chad? There's so much pressure on him. There's external pressure on him. Like, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I know Punts and I, but week by week, just fucking pray to God more and more. And now we're starting, like, we've gone away from, like, we've not left God, but we've added, like, fucking Muhammad and Zeus and whoever else, because he was so good. He was strong. He tackled. And I hope he re-signs, and he looked like he really loved it.
Yeah, he did. I've actually never seen him more invested, to be honest. Like, he's sort of got to that age where your first 4 years, I suppose, you worry about yourself a lot and you want to get the accolades and things like that. And he's probably, like, he's still young, and that you still think about that. But I think he's thinking about the team a lot more. He's speaking in meetings a lot more. He's giving his insights of what he thinks about the game and how he's feeling and things like that. So it's really good to see him sort of open up a bit more. And I think the footy will just do his talking. I think it's nice when you can beat Fremantle as well, because they're obviously wanting to poach him and things like that. But it was pretty funny to see the Warner boys on the wing. They were giving it to the first. It was quite funny. I was just going nuts. I was absolutely bugging, and these two are bloody doing these ones and giving them the Euro Watts and things like that. But I think it's all good fun. They're passionate boys, and they'll cop it during the game, I think. So it's good. I hope he signs, and I think it's looking good at the moment. But we can't. It's up to him, and it's for his family and things like that. But the footy will do his talking, and yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Riley Bice, Baz Marty, as you've told us. My God, he's a long-termer. He's class. He's everything you want. He's got a little bit of, like, a pinch of the lizard, a little bit of Mouseski about him. Just a silky little operator. Another left footer.
Yeah, it's amazing. When you get an opportunity and you take it with both hands, anything can happen. I think as a mature age, I think it's another one from mature age, like draftees. They just come in and they just work. He's played 2 games and he's been elite. Well, he's played probably 5 quarters and been elite. And he was elite again in the last quarter on Sunday Arvo. So kicked the beautiful goal that put us within a goal, and then we win the game. His run off halfback, his skills, his composure for a kid that played 5 quarters is elite under pressure. He did it last week as well, where he come in and took the game on, didn't worry about anything, took the game on and took it with both hands. So
I loved his composure late. He was like wrong side foot. He's a dominant left footer, and he could have panicked and check sided. Just like, fuck off, get it away from me. And he sold the candy and turned back in and hit a target, and that was just like, wow.
Yeah, he's really good. He sort of showed a fair bit in pre-season, but I think what can be tough with young defenders coming in and like sort of playing with inexperienced defenders as well. So Bicey was been playing on, because in the intra clubs you play your 6 defenders, and sometimes the 6 forwards, best forwards, will play on the best defenders. And then the best defenders might play on the inexperienced forwards and vice versa. And think with defending, the young, inexperienced defenders are so much better with experienced defenders to steer you around and tell you where to go, block for you, so you can come across and spoil and things like that. That's just what happens with experience, and it happens at every club. But I think young players are so much better in an experienced backline rather than inexperienced, because they get steered around. He's an attacking defender, but when he gets helped to defend, he's a really good defender. He can come across and spoil and play his role there as well. So the more help he gets down there, the better.
Speaking of, like, he's experienced, sure, but he's not like a rock-solid Swans defender yet. But I thought it was Hamling's best game significantly and stood up in big moments. Yeah,
he's another one. Like, he's actually very experienced as a premiership player, unfortunately. But yeah, he's another one. Like, he's just a team player. Blocks, you'll see him just block, and so Lizard can come across and mark. Just hold out his defender so others can come across and spoil. He's been massive the last 2 games, and I really, really think that he'll play a big part in our team this year.
So do I. Because it frees up McCartan to have some flexibility for, like, it gives Cox options with him. Because he's tall, he's strong, he's composed.
Yeah, Tommy McCartan took that intercepts, but he wouldn't take those intercepts if Hamling's not holding his man down.
Yeah. James Jordan, mate, he did an enormous job on Sarong in the midfield and just happened to get a lazy 10 clearances to go with it as well. He must get the boys up and about when you see him clamp down an absolute gun in the competition like Sarong.
Yeah, the padlock. He's very, very, very good. Probably nearly the best I've seen at doing it and getting the ball. Like in the modern era, in the last 5 years, I think he's the best. Like, I think Lingy was obviously an absolute gun at it, but I think back then you got away with a lot more. Now it's just you've got to beat your man. You're not allowed to do the old dirty stuff and things like that. So it's a lot harder now, and they're looking for those sort of players a lot more in stoppages. Sarong is hit to 80% of the time, and he's kept him to 19 touches and got 20 something himself, 10 clearances, which is extraordinary. I mean, he absolutely loves doing it, and yeah, he's a very, very important player for us.
2 little touches on 2 good players. The mini-me, that goal, that set shot. There's context and then there's context. Like, we had missed golden opportunities that we should have kicked, and we said, hey, here you go, young man, you have all the pressure. And he flushed it.
Yeah, it's good.
And he could have panicked also and just fed it over the top. He said, no. What would Tom do? He'd go back and slot this. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, he's good, little Tommy. Yeah, great kid. He puts pressure on. He'll play a big part as well. It's obviously a very tough role. Sort of small forward as a young player, you're still trying to find your way, how to get the ball, how to pressure, and things like that. So he was probably a little bit quiet in the first week, but that's going to happen as a small forward, and he'll keep coming on. So it was his big moment though to stand up as a young kid to kick it was very, very good.
I had a glorious weekend down here. One of my oldest best mates was down, and we've been betting on set shots since we were like 14. On the TV. What price did you have Pistol Laddams to slot that? Because if you offered him $2, he was having everything he had on it. Like, he loved himself in the moment, and my God, did he flush it. What price did you have him?
Well, I think I kicked one to BJ, Braden Campbell, not long before that. I know I had my life on him, and he missed it. He would have been $1.05 to kick that, and he missed it. And I reckon if I've had BJ $1.05, his pistol would have been $5. But he flushed it. He's actually one of the... He does some freakish stuff. As a big tall man, some of the stuff he does at training is actually quite funny. You might have seen on the socials on the weekend, he right foot check side banana one just on the captain's run as a 205 centimetre ruck, and on his opposite foot, right foot check side, just stuffing around. Things like that he does is just so gold. Sometimes he'll just crumb a ball.
Yeah, he took one out of like a defensive throw in, and burnt
so
Jakey Lloyd and just hit up. He just hit up to like basically get the DOS to get a throw in. Like, it was risky, but but he was like, no, I got this. Bang.
Yeah, he's good. He's orthodox, but he gets it done. He's quite skillful. And he'll pull off some funny kicks, and then he'll just do some extraordinary unco stuff like Ruckman do. But he was good. He was massive, actually, I thought, Pistol. Big in that last quarter. It'll be interesting to see Cocker does with the two rucks. I thought it worked quite well. Jackson's a very, very good ruckman. He's going to be a very good player.
Grundy was really strong against him late third, early fourth. Like, good in the contest, good down the line. He'd be the scariest ruckman outside of the North bloke to play against Sherry, wouldn't he? Jackson?
Yeah,
he can just cut you up.
DeConning's pretty beast.
Yeah.
There's a fair few good ruckmen now. I reckon Tom DeConning, he's very, very good. But Jackson, they're sort of similar in a way where they can grab it from stoppage. Jackson bursts out of stoppage like a midfielder a couple of times. I'm like, Jesus, this bloke's 200 centimetres. What's going on here? But yeah, it was a great battle, great game. It was pretty good to see the Freo fans lose their marbles late.
Oh, there was a great piece of content. I meant to send it in on ABC's Western Australian channel. There was a lot of filth. They're blaming the umpires a bit. Obviously didn't watch Friday night's Collingwood game, but the last Swan I wanted to just wrap up is the big Doss, Hayden McLean. He was enormous. His tackling was huge. He's a big in. And I'm assuming he hasn't had a huge pre-season because he missed early, did he?
Yeah, he's actually had big groin issues all off-season, which is unfortunate for him. Sort of been pretty slow ever since probably November. I think he's only probably played one or two AFL games, and it's bloody tough to do to come in and play well, off not much game time and things like that. So he did really well for a big fella and a good opponent. They got some good tools, and it was his tackling pressure and presence, wasn't it? It was really good. He brought a couple of times just spoiled it out down the line as well when we needed a stoppage to get it out of our D50, things like that. That he's actually pretty smart.
He does little things that are smart, and he doesn't. He tackles way more than they sort of should, or they the average for a big fella. But he's not sloppy when he tackles.
Yeah, he's good. He did really well coming in. I think with a win like that over there, you need everyone sort of rowing the boat, and that's what we sort of did. We didn't really have anyone that was off. I think everyone sort of played their role, did their bit. That's what you need with big gritty wins over there.
I think with Big Doss, Joel, the big fellas that tackle and put pressure on sets up a clearance inside 50, and then your mini-me, Innie, Warner, it sets up, it's a real positive to get those situations for you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, it also just gives absolutely no time if the Freo player does, or whoever it is, does clear the ball. They're not hitting a target. They're just wanting to get it out of there. And you guys set up so well structurally, like Jake Lloyd and blokes like that actually set up with the structure, take the mark, and it's an easy inside.
Yeah, well, that's probably what you can't see on TV, Pratty. What I'd assume is what happens is the Jake Lloyds, the brother of Chad, those sort of blokes have pushed up and made it really difficult for the exit. So he's had to go, fuck, I can't go there. And then when he says that, bang, the big Doss is on him, or the Paps is tackling. It needs to be a team effort, obviously, but the thing we see is the big Doss making tackles, and I thought it was enormous, and it was a famous win. And it was stressful here, so I can't imagine what it was like there. What was it like blowing off a bit of steam in Perth after that?
Pretty disappointed in Perth, to be honest. Everything's shut by 10. Extraordinary, but anyway. We were home in bed by 10:30 and on the plane to Melbourne from Perth. But actually, right, Virgin, shout out to Virgin. The Wi-Fi was good enough to get some form or some reviewing done. So I did all that on the way home. It was actually quite a quick flight in the end.
Did you know where you were going when you didn't just take a seat in 1A or 2A or something like that? Were you okay travelling a little bit further down the plane?
Stand by. What happened on the way over?
On the way over, I was business, obviously. But on the way back, because it's not on the team flight, actually we got done. I actually didn't even get an exit, which I was pretty flat about as well. So I was cattle class, but it was alright. It was good. I had the aisle, so I sort of got the leg out there, and it was nice.
Love it. Good win. Great.
What else do we see across the weekend in AFL? Adelaide Crows look like they are legitimate, although they bashed two poor sides potentially. But then St Kilda came out and said, no, we're not that bad at all. Essendon look completely cast. Absolutely cast.
I want to say about the Saints, I think they've beat Geelong. I think it's their last 5 outings at Marvel. To beat Geelong.
It was a great game of footy to watch.
It was a great game of footy, yep.
I think he's Irish. The Irish fella that went back with the flight was sandwiched by two Cats blokes and took it like a chesty. That was glorious.
Yep. And the one of the rookies, I think he only came on a sub last week, and I want to get his name right.
The real tall fella who cramped from about half-time onwards?
Yep, correct.
He was
enormous.
Great.
Yeah, he ran an absolute muck. It was a great game to watch. But yeah, if you're a Don supporter, they can score, but geez, I don't think they can stop much going in inside their rough. defensive 50.
Tom, do you feel like it's a really wide open year versus, say, the last two? I feel like there's not many games you can sleep on this year versus the last 2 years. Like, even if you play against Essendon, like, they're just going to be up all the time because they're under so much pressure. They're going to be 1 in 3 weeks where they come out, like, just going.
Yeah.
And just hope it's not against you guys.
I think, like, with the media and stuff, they're so quick to jump on teams and players, like, early on in the season. It's like, the game's not that easy, guys. You're sitting there potting, like, every little thing. We're 2 games into the season, like, blokes are still trying to find their feet. It's a tough game to come in and really sort of get your... They've got some good players. They've got a good coach. I'm sure they'll come good. They've probably got a little bit of a new system. They're still trying to get used to it. Yeah, I think it's very, very wide open. Like, any team can win these days. If you're a little bit off, Geelong was obviously a little bit off, get done, lose Stewart. So things like that. So it's just, you got to be pretty careful, I think, with sort of riding teams off so early in the season, just because teams are sort of just trying to find their feet and get into their groove. And like you've seen last year, like, we were flying and then teams figure it, like, study you, figure you out.
No, Brisbane came from a long way back.
So Brisbane comes from a long way back. Everyone was writing off Brisbane, so it'll be interesting.
It sets up for a really good year. Like, North are going good. Melbourne's going poorly, Carlton's going poorly, but they've got superstars, so they'll come good. Like, this weekend's AFL, right? Essendon Port in Melbourne, Thursday night. Got to watch that. What's that face for?
It's a training drill for Port Adelaide.
I don't think it is, because it's Essendon at home at Marvel. Fast. You can do what you want.
Port have won their last 9 at Marvel.
Carlton play the Dogs.
That's a ripping game.
Melbourne play the Suns in Melbourne. Ripping game. Are the Suns legitimate? Well, we'll find out. St Kilda, Richmond. If Richmond's going to steal another one, it could be St Kilda. They've been patting themselves on the back all week. Ross is kissing them in the ear. Who knows? Hawks, Giants. Lions, Cats. Shout out to the AFL. They put them on at the exact same time, so unless you've got 5 TVs, you're not going to be able to watch both. Crows versus North in Adelaide. Sort
North
of a free roll. It's like a free bet, like a bonus bet for North. There's nothing to lose.
We didn't touch on North.
Yeah.
And then the Derby.
But yeah, you're right about...
That's a good round of footy, isn't it?
It's a great
round for you to have a bike, have the week off. Like, you can just sit back and enjoy. Yeah, that is glorious.
Bloody oath.
What do you think of North? They are like they were solid. Like, they built into that performance and then killed them.
Yeah, it was good. They're going to be good, and definitely in a few years. Like, wouldn't surprise me if they win a fair few games this year. They got some just skillful, good players, like young players like Diesel, and these guys are so skillful. And LDU, love the way he moves, and that big cherry in the ruck just looked like an old school, like just bash and crash ruckman, which you'd love to see. And he'd look after you as well, I reckon, on the field. So, yeah, North is going to win a few games this year, I reckon. Good to see him, the little mate Jakey as well, kicking his first goal. Stanty from the Swans. Good to see him going well. Parksy as well. So it's good.
He have a big influence, you reckon, down at North, Parker? They just, he obviously had 22 and kicked a goal himself, which is a great game of footy, but he would just instill so much confidence in those young boys, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think it's just experience. He's a great leader. He's sort of he's not a hard-nosed, like, direct feedback sort of leader, which is probably what I think they've probably already got. Might have a few of them, but I think he's more of like bring very good with young guys, bringing them under his wing, just sort of follow me and watch me and learn from me. He's not he'll be very nice and sort of cuddly and just like really teaching them rather than your stern, no, you got to work harder sort of thing. So he's a great leader, and he'd be so good for them with experience and in big games as well. They'll have some big games coming up that they need to win and push like later in the year, I suppose. Give them experience because they wouldn't experience that before. Yeah,
I think what I noticed about Sunday in that game is just like the spread of a bit like what the Swans did. They just had people contributing all over the ground, North Melbourne, which I think goes a long way to being a good side.
Curtis has
been real good. Yeah,
he's kicked a few goals a few weeks in a row.
Yeah, I think he kicked 3-2 and had 22 on the weekend. That's good going. And you mentioned LDU. Look, he still had a massive impact in the game, but he only had 23, where for them to be competitive the last couple of years, they were relying on Simpkin to get 35 and LDU to get 45, and they've only had 20 and 23 respectively. So they could be pretty deadly, North.
Darling's good for them. Frees up Larky a bit, gives them bit of presence around the ground.
That Larky's very likeable. Like, he's got the rig and the style of a proper forward in a good team, you know.
Yeah. I think he's already kicked eight in 2 weeks, so it's going well.
I'd love for him to have some type of fallout, an issue, and just want to get out of Melbourne. You know? That'd be handy.
Gold.
NRL?
God's winter game. I mean, My God, it was on all weekend. That's how great this weekend has been. Shout out to Dimmers who came down. He's got to spend time with my old mate. It was glorious. He's a big fan of the show. I was Pratty. Was the Storm Panthers game this weekend?
Yes, it was. It was Thursday night.
It was an absolute strip out. I know you two have dropped off, but I'm playing Supercoach, and I've got Hughes in my draft and Cleary captain in my normal team, and they've collided in the second minute, and they both look fucked. It was grim, but what a game. The Storm, I think, are number 1 seeds, perhaps.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game. They did look good, actually. It's going to be... Ballas was funny after the game. He wasn't happy with them. He was happy they got the win, but he's very... he reminds me of Horse, I think. He wants a perfect game. What was he saying after the game? He said, "Yeah, look, good get the win, but not happy with it. Not happy with it at all."
Beat the reigning 4-time premiers by 6 points, and you're not happy.
Mate, you've just beat the best team in the comp for the last 4 years, probably the best team ever. Just take the win, mate. But it's good. It's good. Good to see he loves it. He's obviously a gun coach, and they're going to be good. Good to see the Storm up and firing again.
My sort of feel in the NRL at the moment is that the Sharks and the Bulldogs are going to just accrue points through the season and win the games that they should win, and they'll be thereabouts. The Storm and the Panthers are just so solid, and the exciting team for me who are evolving and improving is the West Tigers. They've been they've been disgraceful for a long, long time, but they sort of absorb pressure now and they score. And I'm happy for them because imagine following them. But they were good, and it was a very good win away to the Dolphins. I watched most of it. Again, self-interest. I got the winger and the fullback in my draft side, and I just want to see them score points, and they do week in and week out. They look really exciting, the West Tigers. The NRL's building, I think, pretty well. Anything else about the NRL we want to touch on before we move forward?
Is DCE leaving Manly or something? What's the go there? I heard something going on.
To be honest, it sounds complicated. It sounds like he's gone. I think he's playing out the year, but it's kind of like on my list of things I want to consume for the afternoon once I've done this podcast.
Do you want the thing broken to you or not?
Yeah.
I saw him on a panel, and one of the panelists asked him, Manly, rumours are that Manly have come back and offered you the same deal as a counter. Are you going to think about it? He's like, I've spoken about it with my family. I know it's not going to be good for some people, and there's going to be a lot of pissed Manly fans, but no, I'm not accepting. So he's gonzo.
So
really?
He's probably already done a deal somewhere else.
Yeah.
What? Isn't he like a Manly great?
Yeah. He did a big backflip once, perhaps. He signed a monster deal with the Gold Coast Titans, and it was done, and then he backed out of it.
Really?
He's a premiership winner at Manly, and living in Sydney, like if you were on $1 million a year and living on the northern beaches, I'd be pretty happy signing a little extension and just sort of living and paying off the second house or the fifth house up there.
Yeah.
I don't know where. Maybe he's a Queenslander. Maybe he's going home.
35 is, and you want to know it's
he's a Queenslander, isn't he? He's probably going up to the Broncos or Gold Coast. Is he?
Sorry, 36 as well. My apologies. You know what's crazy? He's deciding whether he's going to play Origin or not. Is the latest headline? Whether he's going to decide to play Origin this year or not.
Well, there's no way he's going. There's no way he's going to the Broncos because they've got like 2 halfbacks and Ezra Mann to come back. The Dolphins have a good young half. He's either going to the Dolphins. I don't think he is. I think he's going to the Titans or maybe the Cowboys. But do you really want to go from living like probably in Collaroy in Manly, which is just like as good a living as it gets there in the basin?
The Collaroy Hotel, shout out.
And go and live in Townsville? I doubt that. Maybe the Gold Coast.
Where's he originally from?
He's a Queenslander, so you'd have to think.
It's interesting. Yeah, well, fair enough. I understand. If he's a Queenslander, probably wanting to get home, is he?
He's from.
We talk about it.
He's from Redcliffe.
There you go. And we talk about it like he wants. Like, as you two know, and I well know, his wife would have sacrificed a hell of a lot to let him do what he wants to do and where he wants to play. And if she's from Queensland or wherever she is, she might want to live next to her or near an old man and her mum and things like that. And that's completely fair and understandable. So. Sounds like he's leaving Manly. Sounds like it's at the end of the year.
Yeah, he said this will be the last year for Manly.
And it sounds like, to me, like there's a big contract coming, just a juicy one for him to go and steer a club around for 2 years in the Brisbane or Gold Coast area, I'd say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I know you said one of the other teams is interesting, but what about the Roosters? What is going on
I think they just got up at home for a big game against the Panthers, and then.
And you reckon they're no good?
Well, this is one thing about sports that like Tom can't even talk about. I imagine going and playing in New Zealand's tough, like different and rare, and it seems to bring like Manly went there and lost. I think
they did. Yep, 36-16.
It's kind of like going to Perth on steroids.
Yeah, going to New Zealand or going to Canberra.
Like New Zealand was shit house in Las Vegas. I think they've now won 2 at home.
They have, yep.
They're probably away this weekend in Australia somewhere, and they'll probably get beat.
They are. Yep, they're at West Tigers. Geez, that's a good game. 6:15. Tigers versus the Warriors.
Shows you how hard it would have been for the New Zealand Warriors in the COVID era. They were based out of Australia the whole time.
Yeah, it's crazy. That is crazy. Brutal. Should we get to horse racing?
Before we do, shout out to Oscar Piastri, who won the Chinese Grand Prix. Watched it all, just about. Glorious event too, the Chinese Grand Prix. Really hard track to drive if you're playing on the PS5, according to Juzzy. But they have a sprint race on the Saturday, which is glorious. He ran second in that. Lewis Hamilton won that for Ferrari. Mm-hmm. And really? He qualified on pole for the big race, and he led start to finish Oscar. So the young Australian, is right in the mix. The McLaren looks significantly the fastest car at the moment, and he's a big chance to become world champion if he can maintain the rage and the car can maintain its quickness.
Do you reckon there's a power struggle there between him and Norris though? For who's the top dog?
Well, there's a lot of things at play there. The other thing that no one talks about is there's a lot of little man syndrome. They are short fellas, so they've got issues already. Lando's like owned McLaren, and now this little fucker's just like zipping past him. Remember they were going to 1-2 the Australian Grand Prix until it got wet, and he went off, and he had that sort of moment where it's like playing on your PS5, PS2 for some of us, or 4. I don't even know what we got.
Have to be a PS4. There's no way you're still running a PS2. You wouldn't be able to.
I don't know. But we went past JB Sunday, and I said to Ems, like, how much longer are we gonna have to wait
before you get the PS5 or before Das gets a controller?
No, I want to get a PS5 like for him.
Yep. How much?
But then I saw Pat's playing the Wii. Maybe that's the next step.
Wii's old school.
It's good fun.
Yeah, so it'd be cheap. Fun, bit of activity.
It is good fun.
So for those playing at home, though, Dicko is still got the little F1 bug, and that's still in his system. How long will it last? That's the real.
I think a lot of it'll come down to timing.
Yeah,
so that Grand Prix kicked off at the same time as the Swans game.
Yeah.
So it was easy. I was already watching TV. If they start being at like 1 a.m. on a Sunday night, Monday morning, then it's going to get pretty tough. Unless we know we've got one sleep deprivation incoming, which will be the Masters, and I'm just sort of preparing myself for that. It's about 2 weeks away, I think, and Matty Punt is just all over Rory. Oof. All over him.
Love that.
You let him down.
Well, I feel sorry for Rory, because
he's got no hope.
Probably now can't win. Little does Rory know, the reason he's never going to win the Grand Slam is because a sicko from Australia keeps backing him to win it.
Gold.
Eyes on Ponies, brought to you by CTW Excavations. They're at the front right now, and they'll go where the big boys won't. Get in touch on Instagram to find out more. Boys, a glorious weekend, Golden Slipper weekend. I don't know what the race is called at Moonee Valley, but it was a Group 1 sprint. William Reid.
Time-honoured, isn't it?
Time-honoured. William Reid had its colours lowered probably on Saturday. I saw. Can we roll through just before we do this? Someone was abusing me on socials about Swartz.
Yeah, said he doubled his bet for because you said it couldn't win, and I just commented back saying, "Great bet."
So you engage with him, do you?
100%. Yeah, it's good.
There you go, Paps. He is on your side.
Nah, it's good if you've got an opinion and that's the way you like to bet. If that's your edge going against what Dicko says in main races on leaders, then take it. Take it and run. Great betting.
But where do we want to start? Racing. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go to
Rosehill?
Rosehill. Let's get out of the way. Let's buckle up and get ready for one of the great Dutch ruddering sessions all time. You were up and about all week long. You were confident. You were strong, which isn't out of the ordinary, to be honest, like from a Thursday to a sort of Saturday 10:30. But it really sort of happened for you on Saturday. When did it start to feel great?
Well, sort of race 1, I didn't have a bet. I didn't even bother doing the race, to be honest, because it's just a midway, and I was like, stuff it, like, I'm not going to bet.
He's back off the midways.
But I had Marymount Bull, I had it a bet, and it was just back. I didn't bet, but it was inside, back to the rail, us, and that just, Zachy Lloyd, I was like, oh, yep, seen him nicely. I think I had around Sounds of Heaven around the mark as well. So I knew the prices were roundabouts, and the track was playing the way I thought it was going to play, which was up and in and rails in run, and everyone knows that. There's been a bit of talk around it. Alaka Hans against Athabaskan. Athab was good. But Athabaskan was still a good run. It got away with it pretty easy. Alcahance. Athabaskan, good run in behind. Was rails in run as well, so but just too far off him. Good win, Alcahance. Athabaskan's still on a good path to Sydney Cup. That horse that wins now will get some weight, and we won't. So there's a sort of little positive to losing that. So we're still looking good there for the Sydney Cup. I think we're around $11. But yeah, and then I watched that race, and then I went to the captain's run, which was a setback. And a few of us
I had to do my job. Fuck. Oh,
Yeah.
So we had meetings, and Coxie's pretty good. He likes a little flutter here and there as well. Sort of navigates it a little bit. Like I know I sort of think he does, but like he doesn't say he does, but like he does.
The build up to what occurred late Saturday afternoon is now all making sense, Dicko. He's just been a caged animal in the captain's run.
There's like a flurry.
Couldn't watch Autumn Glow. Couldn't watch VR.
There's a way that you can do it too on your WhatsApp. I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and it just like at the end of all of his audios, it just played them all.
Yeah. You just press play and it just goes.
Well, I don't know how I did it or how to do it still, but it just kept going. And Jesus Christ,
It was good.
So I think I just watched. I missed. I watched Autumn Glow. I missed
Via,
and I missed Broadsiding and Swift Falcon. That was obviously I was on Swift Falcon, but Broadsiding, geez, it's a horse that just does enough, doesn't it?
Scurry, full credit to Scurry there.
Did he love it? Did he?
He sort of said that the horses come back and like evolved and grown, whereas sometimes these horses won't, and he has, and he's getting better, is his view, physically, and it sort of looks like it's translating to on the numbers and the results.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like a wanker, but like Broadsiding wasn't a bet at $2, but I think you could get $3.30 for Broadsiding Betfair, and like the captain's run's cost me some money there, so. But I would definitely have saved, I reckon. Yeah. Because I think I said I had about 260 Broadsiding.
Yeah.
Like I was against the price. I wasn't saying the horse couldn't win, but it's just a price factor thing. Aliana, huge run, wherever that's going to go. I think, it's got to win just around the corner. Huge run. It was massive that last 100. He was savage in it. Charlie Sheen style ticker. But yeah, Swift Falcon sort of went on an early run. I'm not sure if this horse is a 2,000 metre horse or back to sort of 1,600. I'm not sure. It sort of went on a sort of wide run. It's hard to do on the day. So
I think let's start to get tactical about the review. This track was a disgrace, and I don't know why Moonee Valley cops it so hard, and it deserves to, but this track doesn't cop it. You look at your positions and wides, like every fucking winner is in lane 4 or 5 or 6 at the 400 and 200. All but 2 are rails in run, or all but 3, and they just happen to be like superstars.
At the 600, yeah.
So I think if you want to be forgiving of a horse like Swift Falcon, then you are absolutely entitled to be, and trust that SP, because this horse was in lane 2 the whole way, which was very, very hard to be and win, and was out in lane 8.
Yeah, and it went on a wide early run. That's what I'm...
So, like of the winners, 10 races, the widest a winner got was lane 6 in the straight, and that was a horse called Broadsiding.
And then the other two that haven't settled on the fence are Autumn Glow and Private Hillary. And those numbers real or what?
You've got like big fields, massive 2-year-old, the biggest 2-year-old race in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere, in the world for breeding, and you've got 5 lanes that you can win from, maybe 3 lanes in it. Like it's an incredibly biased track. It'll be complete fruit for Tom, and therefore for you guys, because he's just coincidentally had to spend 10 hours on a plane this week, and he's got probably more to come, so he's got heaps of time to review this meeting. It will be so juicy what comes out of this meeting if you do the work, and you're lucky enough that the horses that you've given the bonus to find a race where they're going to get a nice run.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how those ones that got blessed in run come out and Because I honestly reckon you can nearly give the rail like a length or two.
3 or 4.
That's what I messaged you messaged the group at the start of the day. You must have been at captain's run at that point. I said, how many lengths superior is the rail? And you wrote back, Dicko, 2 to 3.
Yeah, well, like Tom lost. One of the only races Tom lost on Saturday was the last race.
And
like,
it should have probably
the
won.
The horsey back that he was frothing on Outback Miss. The closest it got to the rail was lane 2 at the 4 and the 600. It was in lane 4 at the 1,000 and at the 400, and it was in lane 8 and 9 at the finish.
And then She's
Couldn't
an
win.
A-list has just been
Season A-list, it was sick.
dusted, and it was
but it got out to lane 7 at the 200.
That's what I'm saying. Lane 8 finished in
Quicksand.
crazy.
But yeah, it's obviously terrible for trainers and owners and things like that.
Well, like, I know Gay's blowing up, and everyone's blowing up that they're trying to sell the joint. If they ring me, I'll be saying, fucking sell it. It'd be a bad track to own a horse on, because you need to get everything right to be competitive. It's a great track to bet on, because you can adjust to it and figure it out.
I reckon it's my favourite track, just because you know what it's going to do. It's my favourite, up and in, and just...
Well, it's
I
also...
love it.
Yeah.
Like,
recency bias and self-interest. Obviously, you love Rosehill, mate.
no, well, my stats say I love Rosehill anyway. Flemington is probably the only... Flemington and Randwick, they're the 2 headquarters that play pretty fair. There's 2.
Yeah, but I think if Flemington was a person, it'd be deeply offended to be compared to Randwick. Randwick's not great, I don't think, but it's not as bad as Rosehill.
Yeah, that's what I'm also thinking. Like,
I just want to
it's not hard. It's not easy. Sorry.
Yeah, my point of view though is it's actually what it is. What it is. I hate the narrative and the like North Korean style. No, this is great. This is perfect. It's an outdoor sport. There's going to be bias all the time. But just call it when it's there and talk about it. Don't be ashamed of it. And while we're happy to hammer like Moonee Valley, we're not happy to hammer Caulfield.
Yeah. I also like, and it's racing. Is what it is. Also, like,
it's an outdoor sport on like thick grass. It's not going to be. It's not the 400-meter final at the Olympics. They're not staggered starts on a beautiful track. It's is what it is.
Yeah.
But I just hate that it's not sort of spoken about, and I think it's going to be really, really fat for Tom and us and you guys if you follow along for the next sort of 3 and 4 weeks off this meeting alone, because they have really good horses at the top of their game, and there was a significant bias at Rosehill on Saturday.
Yeah. Horses to follow out of the meeting.
Hang on, before you go is this Private Harry number real?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. Dicko, you love your sectionals. 8 to the 6, 10-7-2, 10-9-2, 10-9-6, 11-5-6. That's after going 8.8 lengths quicker to the 600 for the all.
It's a significant improvement on the horse's
profile.
Go watch
Briasa then.
Which I'd sort of keep a note of mentally. I expect it to regress slightly, but it's a proper beast number. The horse that is really interesting, just looking at it now, which I think now I've looked at it, you guys have been speaking about, called Briasa.
Yeah, Paps literally just said, holy fuck.
It's enormous.
Look, watch the replay as well. It's back. It was back last wide and the widest. It's just like, I reckon this horse would win the Everest.
It's very, very, very nice number from Briasa. And this is where, like, I saw there was an eruption yesterday with the Dan O's ratings. He had Swartz above Private Harry, which is, in my opinion, just random and rare. I don't understand it. Like, Private Harry will kick Swartz's head in my opinion. Absolutely kick its head in. I think Briasa, like Thomas said, is genuinely exciting, and I wouldn't be surprised, like Thomas just said, if it's not on track for an Everest somewhere pretty soon. I
might take some of that $11 to pre-nom market. If it doesn't go, you get cash
TJ,
back.
I think like Randwick as well. It's not suited to Rosehill. Randwick will be good for it.
Briasa's a horse that you want to take out of the meeting moving forward for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good horse. Autumn Glow is another one. Back that. I don't know what price it is for the
Arrowfield Sprint.
The Arrowfield Sprint. It's definitely going there.
It's a shame. It's $1.90 now.
Calm down.
I think you can do some shopping around, but I reckon that starts at $1.50. Private Harry's not going there. And Switzerland's not going there. And they're the second and third favourites.
Yep, they've wound Switzerland out now.
It will start at $1.50, and if Chris does, and I don't think, it'd definitely be going there unless something crazy happens with injury wise, touch wood. But that's the only reason it wouldn't go there, because it's owned by Arrowfield, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so.
So they'll definitely go there. Real was sort of one that was back, rails in run, but held up. 400 was good. Cleveland's an interesting runner. Huge off of Gelding. Really great ride. So it's going to be interesting to see how that horse sort of keeps going off that Gelding. Kovalika was a sneaky good run first up. Was off the fence. Once further, held up a little bit and not suited. Out of the slipper, I think the history showed that I think first, second, and third were all rails in run. Rivellino was a really good run. Devil Knight was huge, but I think it's gone for a spell.
Yep.
Rivellino missed the kick.
I thought it was the best run of the race.
Devil Knight.
No, Rivellino.
Yeah. Rivellino. Yeah, that missed the kick was slow away.
No Man's Land, Quicksand, Chrissy Lee's. Yeah. Where's it going? Is it paddock?
Yeah,
or
I think it's keeping going. I think it's size. I think that's a good chance in the size. I'm not sure what they do with Wotan either, if it's going size or not.
It has to.
Uncle Chris almost got it done, didn't he?
Yeah, geez. Tempted was huge as well. Obviously got the rails in run and stuff like that. But yeah, Rivellino's the one out of the slipper that could go to size, I think. That's Rosehill.
Fair enough.
Righto. Tommy is going to leave us now and go and do a bit of life admin and spend some time with his old man, I reckon, who said to me at about 4 o'clock on Saturday, Tom, what the fuck's going on? He's on fire. And then he said, sorry, what's your name again?
Goal.
Michael, Moonee Valley. Geez, it copped some fucking backlash on the weekend and after the weekend. And those that are blessed to make a small living off the game, they're happy to toss this 30-year-old veteran under the bus whenever it's needed. They probably all lost on the weekend. We didn't. Not on Eyes on Ponies and not on the mailbag.com.au. Buy my rated prices and I'll look after you. We won well. I was going
to do a plug for that, Dicko. You're good at tooting your own horn, but I actually want to. If you look back at this last calendar year, so if we go back from April last year until including March this year, so basically a full calendar year, you've gone at plus 172.6 units. Absolutely airborne. Like, if you want to get involved, obviously Dicko puts some plays on the Eyes on Pony slide. For example, I think it was Scalado in the last or in the 10th. You had a bet on the Eyes on Pony slide. You then actually butted up and said, no, we actually need to back Clean Energy here and cover our bet because of the way the track's playing. Like, if you want that level of information and you take your punting half seriously and you want to get to learn and do a little bit more, the mailbag.com.au, it's the silver tier Melbourne rated prices. Come enjoy the team. You'll learn a lot as you go through. It's a good group of people and great betting on Saturday, Dicko. But bar the track, and maybe it shouldn't have started a 5 and gone to a 6, whatever. Let's leave that one to all of those that have already commented. How did you see Saturday play out at the Valley?
it was a biased track. It was a tricky track. I don't think there's a lot of people guessing as to what the track was. I think you just treat it like a sort of day 3 warnable track. Some horses got through it, some horses didn't. It wasn't a soft 5 or a soft 6 as such as you'll see in your form guide. It's like a unique track, and you need to just sort of not get too stuck into horses that went well and went poorly. You want to be sort of cautious of horses that went really well and forgiving of horses that went really poorly. I think that's how I'll do it.
I think the market found a lot of them as well, didn't they? Like, a lot of the horses that were backed did end up winning.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah. A biased track's it's nothing new. Like,
no, especially not at the Valley.
Rosehill, that was bias. Moonee Valley's a very tactical, tight turning track. It's an advantage to be up on speed. That's why the 400 metres is a staggered start in the Olympics, because that's how you make it fair, because they've got to cover the wider lanes. It's just the way it is. It's what it is. Caulfield's bias. Cranbourne's bias on Friday night. Pakenham, the inside, you can't win at the moment. Like, those things, that's racing. The trick for us is to not force it, do the work, and also do the review and find the horses that have got more merit than it might look. With Saturdays, I'm not going to overthink it and overforce it as such with the reviews like I normally would, because it was very, very, very tactical. I think that the Group 1 was a poor addition on a bad track. and the time sort of reflects that. Some people are going to say this track was better now or worse now than it was in the morning. I don't know. And anyone who says they know doesn't know, in my opinion. But
he got that one pretty right though, J Mott. What did he do? He kicked away from the 1,000 and just proper put that race to bed like last start, huh?
And I still laid the horse because I'm a stubborn, arrogant idiot sometimes. But I was extremely happy for Jamie Mott. He's a very good man. He rides a lot of our horses at Mailbag Bloodstock. He's riding one of them in about 25 minutes at Ballarat, and let's hope he gets the job done because it's about $1.70.
50 minutes.
I was very happy for him. I thought his ride was outstanding. Craig annoyed him, but I thought he actually helped him. Craig's riding on Saturday was scary. The market came heavily for Clean Energy, which you spoke about, and then he went back on it. Couldn't go forward on it. Wasn't a decision, I don't think, from Craig. I think it was sort of the way the horse was, and then it was still won.
Did you see the results yesterday from Hong Kong?
He won a Group 1.
He won on that, not only did he win a Group 1, he won on a maiden in Hong Kong. That
Seamus Award style, baby.
Unbelievable. Tangent.
I thought like overall, I don't know. Like LAU won a 1,200 metre race in about half a second slower than Swartz won the 1,200 metre race. So, I'm not taken by the Group 1 at all. I thought Ray Magnerio was even okay way at the back. Jimmy Starr was very good again. Clean Energy was really nice. Shalado had excuses. Clean Energy and Shalado were both sort of half slow. Silly Cap. How are they saying that, actually?
I wasn't watching.
I was, and I don't remember what they said, but we'll call it Silly Cap. Good win. The instructor was a map horse that won. We packed it. Grinzinger Bell was huge and a big number. Good win, good ride. Shan was going super.
D-Bakes rode that beauty, didn't he, Grinzinger Bell? Just made sure that he didn't go slow enough and he just proper put that further away.
Yeah, it was a great ride. And other than that, man, I don't think there's a hell of a lot to take out of the meeting or horses to trust, to be honest. I think that Jimmy Starr's flying.
Yeah.
I don't know where Kieran will send it, but it'll be somewhere big and aggressive, and it's going to be competitive. I don't think we'll ever see Swartz race again.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we do. They might have a crack at a TJ Smith or something, but I doubt it, to be honest. And if they do, it'll start $20, and it won't win.
If you like it, WBet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then abuse me. Don't say thank you, though, when Grinzinger Bell wins.
100%.
You do you. On Display was very good from an unwinnable position.
What race is that?
That was in race 10.
Yeah.
Went huge. A nice horse. It'll be aimed at good races to fatten up its pedigree because it's a mare. Charisse and Rumbled Again are going good. Going better than it looks. Rumbled Again had about 4 excuses last start. Didn't have any here except where it was in run and hit the line good. It's back. It can be followed with a bit of confidence, I think. Quintessa was very poor. Very, very poor. It's sort of, where's it at? Don't know. Navy Heart was good for Kieran Ma. I like that horse. That's a horse with ability and on track to go well. And that's probably it. I'm just forcing it now. And just buy my stuff. I'll look after you.
Yeah, 100%. Have you got one for the punters tomorrow? I know we're gonna put this out late on a Tuesday for those loyal listeners.
Sandown tomorrow. This thing's gonna have it's got a scary-ish map, but it's not awful because it's drawn inside. Gets a golden switch. Was drawn outside, went back. Now it gets an inside draw. It's in race 4. The horse is called Liberami. John McNeil rides from barrier 2. You can get 480, 460. I think if it begins well, you can sort of put it a little bit closer than you'd think. And in a low enough race, I think it's the horse that's ready to win and represents good value at around that sort of 460. There's 480 out there. No Fuss was a really good win first up, but it's drawn to be sort of back worse in midfield and is short enough versus what it started last start. Anilla was very, very good at Cranbourne, not suited behind in an okay race. I think it's going well. I just don't know where it's going to get to in run. And Divine Thoughts gets Blake Shin on a massive jockey upgrade, but will control that race. So if it's been mad on pace for 3 races, it'll be the horse that I save on. That's Divine Thoughts. But the bet is race 4, number 5, Liberami. Have an outstanding week. Have a phenomenal.
Before you go, Dicko, Port Adelaide are fucking morals on Thursday night. Paps isn't here. They're morals. I reckon the Dons could have back-to-back weeks where 150 plus is kicked on them. I've got no doubt they might score 100 themselves, but if you wanted to potentially look to bet into Autumn Glow in the Arrowfield Sprint, I think that doubles about $3. That's what I'm leaving with you this Tuesday. I'm going a 2-code multi. Port Adelaide, $1.62 morals into Autumn Glow at about $1.90. It's about $3.
It's a great weekend's AFL.
It is.
And it starts on Thursday. The Rugby League starts on Thursday. We are just absolutely blessed. What have we got? We've got the Rabbitohs at home versus the Panthers off a loss in Melbourne Thursday night. It's all happening.
Game.
It's going to be an outstanding week, a better weekend. Gamble responsibly, 1-800-858-858, or visit the website. Be nice to each other and just have a great week.